What if some of the patterns you know or you see keep repeating are not just the habits or the conditioning, but those are the memories of experience carried far deeper than this lifetime? And what if technology, awareness, and intuition are not opposites, but mirrors helping us understand why we are here now? Good to think about, right? So, hey, dear listeners, welcome back to another powerful episode of Mind Meets Machine, the podcast where human consciousness meets evolving systems, inner intelligence meets modern thinking, and we explore how awareness shapes our future. So, on this journey, today we have a very lovely guest. Please welcome Donna Hartley. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's my honor to be here this morning.
Amazing. So, dear listeners, before we get into our discussion, I'll quickly have to introduce you with Donna. So, Donna is an international inspirational speaker, former Miss Hawaii, television actress, and the author of the Fire Up Your Life. It's a book series and a world-renowned past life reader. So, her extraordinary life journey includes surviving a plane crash, stage 3 melanoma, multiple open heart surgeries, and decades of deep intuitive work that has shaped how she helps people heal, awaken, and also lead from within. Right. So in this episode, dear listeners, we are exploring how past life patterns may still be active today, and why this moment in time calls us to heal them, and how discovering our hidden talents fits into that process. So I'll not take much of your time. Let's get started. Welcome to the show again.
Thanks. Okay. Those are perfect questions. And that's what I hear from people all over the world. I mean, first of all, people are waking up that they have patterns, whether you want to call them addictions, patterns, but they get in your way of living the full life that you were meant to do. So they're saying, these are odd. Where do they come from? I don't understand. I've had this for a long time. So, when I came into this life, I didn't think I was going to be a past life reader. But let's just go back in time. Before you are born, before you come into earth, you set up what you want to learn and what you want to do. So you meet with your karmic family. You decide who your parents are going to be. Okay, well, that's a question right there. Then your kids choose you. Okay, that's another one. And then you meet with your guides and ascendant masters. So when you come in, you have a plan of what you want to do. So why would you choose a pattern that would stop you? Like, for example, drinking or even lack of self-worth, because those will stop you from being the pure soul that you're meant to be. But if you go back many lifetimes, you might have had that pattern, okay, that you didn't overcome. So you make the agreement to overcome it in this one because you learn lessons. By conquering something, you get depth that you can't get from anything else. Or maybe you made fun of someone else that drank or someone else that didn't have self-esteem. So now it happens to you. So you get to feel it. So when I look at Earth, which is the lowest dimension of all the planets that are up there in all the galaxies, we have the lowest vibration. But the reason so many people come in is because they want to conquer those lessons. And the majority of people want to make a difference on this planet in some way. Not everyone, but by serving, by helping, by educating. All right. And so, but you can't do that until you get those patterns out of the way, because the patterns are stopping you. Okay. Does that kind of set it up for you?
Exactly. For sure. Definitely. I mean, it's no doubt. So, to start with, before we talk about the past life themselves, I did love to start here. It's like when people come to you feeling kind of stuck or maybe repeating the same emotional patterns, what do you notice that they are really searching for beneath the surface?
Okay. So when people come to me, okay, I let them ask questions.
Okay.
Before I say, send me the questions that are really bothering you. So some could have a toxic relationship with someone. Someone can say, I get so far in my job and then I feel like I'm don't worth. So it kind of always collapses on me. So where does that come from? Or I want to open up and be a healer, maybe Reiki or something like that, but I don't feel I'm good enough. So I have to go to the root of that life, where it started. And it could be thousands of years back or just hundreds of years back, where that got set into motion. For example, I had a lady that came and she said, I'm opening up a spiritual store, but why do I feel like, I don't know, I'm not worthy or it won't be successful. I said, let's go back. So we went way back to England when she was killed as a witch for having that spiritual, okay? That life. So I don't go on the negative or on the death. I just say, and you weren't a witch. That was the time. You are here to conquer that in this time and to show the world that you have something to value. Now, she had lives where she did very positive things. She was a gypsy in one life, but so she was a fortune teller and she had that energy and she was positive and she was a monk in one life. But I said, the one you're burning off or working through is when society judged you. And so in this life, you've got to claim your power and not let society judge you. Now, that takes a little time. You got to forgive yourself. So there's a whole forgiveness thing. I forgive myself for buying into that I wasn't worth in that life. And I forgive all the people that killed me or judged me or, went against me in my village. And even if you don't know their names, because in this life, you need to complete that and have that self-worth.
Very true. And I really love that what you mentioned. And the thing is, regarding the past life, I have heard a lot that maybe it's a misconception, but still, like, I have heard that people say past life. Some says that it's just after that next birth is this one. And some says that maybe it was like thousand years ago, and after that it was not getting the body to in, and right now you have got that. Your soul has got that body, and that is the reason you have taken the birth right now. So,
Correct.
how it is correct or something.
So people say, what was my last life? There's no time on the other side. There's no time on those dimensions. So you are absolutely correct. It could have been 1,000 years ago in Egypt. It could have been BC in Egypt. Okay. And now maybe you studied as like a high priestess or your spiritual path. And then you put it away and you came up. But in this life, you say, I really want to access that. I want to live in my truth. I want to be. So you've had all those other lifetimes, but you're bringing up the energy from that life. But remember, you make that agreement on the other side before you come in. Also, here's where we get screwed up. Okay. We have free will. So we can get off that path. We can say, oh, no, I don't want to do it. You're going to come back and do that again because you set that intention, but you might not complete it in this lifetime. So when they say it's the last life, it might not be. It could be a lifetime. It could be 28 lifetimes ago, but that's stored in your DNA. That's stored in your soul. So at some time you have to come to agreement with that. Now, when I came in this lifetime, I had no idea that I was going to sign up for so many lessons. At 6 years old, I had malnutrition. That's when I left my body and went to the other side and then came back. Okay. So I was 6 years old at that time. Then also at 16, I had heart surgery. And then, so same thing, went to the other side, almost hit an air clot, almost died. Okay. Met with mentors on the other side. They sent me back. Then I was in a DC-10 plane crash. That was major. Okay. Had a near death experience. Then I had melanoma, crossed over. And then I had 2 more open heart surgeries. Every one of those times I crossed over, I met with my guides, my mentors on the other side. And if I get, positive about it, I always say, okay, so I flunked entrance to heaven 6 times. They kept sending me back because I also chose to say, I didn't learn my lessons in my lifetime at the beginning. I've got lots more to go. So I want people that are listening to understand when they understand their karmic lessons that they chose from another lifetime, they're not good. They're not bad. They are just lessons. And if you look at it that way and stop beating yourself up because you aren't where you think you should be. So every soul has a perfect energy when it comes in, and every soul is loved. We stop as humans loving ourselves. So yes, we could be clearing up lives from the Roman Empire days, you know?
And like when you mentioned about the Egypt and all, so someone told me, but I don't know like how correct it is, and also I am not sure like how to identify that. So someone from, so I went to somewhere, it's just the interior from my birthplace, and someone told me that there are two consequences. So someone who was very old. I mean, she was just 91, 93 years of age, but she still used to see the face, and she can tell you like where from and all those things she can tell. So she told me that this birth mine is after exactly I forgot the number, but it is more than thousand years. And in my last life, I was a girl and from a village, and so it was from the this forgot the name. It's a Moroccan place, and from there in the village, and the death was because of some connection, and it was not completed. And
Uh-huh.
after so much years later, I took birth as a male, and it's the exact thing, it is written, but I am not remembering. This much I remember. But where another person also told me that I am someone from my last birth, and after that only this is my next birth. And the last birth was, I was someone from my family itself. They everyone see and they say that I mean my father's father, I mean my grandfather, and from that soul I born. So I'm very confused, but I'm really confused, and somehow I able to relate to both the things. I don't know how, but I'm really confused.
Well, you're right on with this. You know, it is confusing at the beginning till you understand the concept of it. And very important thing, you can be born a female in a life and then a next life a male, because we can't understand
Mm,
the other sex
mm,
until we understand both sides. Now, on
correct.
many of the galaxies and planets that existed before Earth, like Lemuria, male and females were definitely equal. They were equal on all levels. So we have this other kind of life on Earth now with this hierarchy. So absolutely, I think you were a female, you know, and then, but life ended early. So you didn't complete what you had to. So you'll have to come back, you know, in another life, of course,
Mm,
and do that.
mm,
And then we do come back in the same family line, like your grandfather
mm.
could have been you or somebody in the line. So I call it clearing up the karma for 7 generations. You go back 7 generations that you're clearing up the karma. For example, in my family, we have heart disease. Grandmother, grandfather, stepfather, aunt, uncle. We go back. I chose to have 3 heart surgeries in this life to end the family karma. My brother's clear. Okay. So
Okay.
we wanted, that's another thing that you sometimes sign up. So I could have been one of those aunts back when that died of a heart disease in another lifetime. And I'm back with the same family circle, because we do come back with the same family circle. So, you know, and then you go, I really relate to my grandfather, like you're saying, you know, he had that wisdom. He's the one that taps into my brain. So you probably had many, many, many lifetimes with that grandfather. Okay.
Wow.
And he could have been your mother. He could have been your grandfather. He could have been your mentor in another lifetime. So we change roles. Sometimes we're the mother, you know, sometimes we're the father. So it gets very confusing to earth mind, you know, because we're limited in our thinking. We think it only
Exactly.
has to be a certain way. And I go, oh yeah, I understand that, or that was way back when, or whatever. So if you let go of all that limited thinking, you know, like I know I died in World War II. I know I was Jewish. I know I was shot in the concentration camp. So what happened in this lifetime, and I'm not this lifetime when I came back, when we studied World War II, I would go to the bathroom and throw up because it bothered me so much.
Yeah.
See, it was, and I didn't know why at a young
Yeah.
age, why it was affecting me. And then I was born in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. So everybody studied German. And every time I heard the German language, it would, my German teacher said, look, I can give you maybe a D plus to pass this class, but why can't you get it? You're a smart student. You get everything else. But it was a block. See how it was blocking me?
Mm.
I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to get it. So that's where I'm saying those patterns come in, which can be bad or could be good. But yes, we relate to certain people. And this, I'm sure this has happened to you. You meet someone and you just click.
Yeah.
And you meet someone else and you go, stay away. I don't know why. Stay away. See, those
Exactly.
are past life patterns that you had in another time. So yeah, I get that you and your grandfather have been very, very close. You studied in a monastery together, in one lifetime. Now, how long has your grandfather been gone?
So it's the 30, and this is like it's mostly like I am right now 33, 34. My father is 65. So
Okay.
mostly like 60. So it's like 40 to 50 years, you can say, like
It's gone.
it's gone. Yeah.
Do you feel him around you? Or something, or you can't put your thumb on it, or you feel you're like getting tapped to say, open up your spiritual life, look into it more, know it, meditate.
Okay. Okay.
Because I think it's your grandfather tapping you on the shoulder saying, get it together, kid. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It goes, I'm watching over you. Do you ever ask to talk to him or thank him, your grandfather?
Yeah. So what I felt the first time when, because I never been able to see him.
Okay.
So obviously, and then what happened is, like, when I see his photograph with my grandmother, so I feel so, and that everyone in the family, they says that my nose, my hairline, and the way I sit. So sometimes when I sit at the chair like this, so
Right.
this is something which I naturally used to do. But when I saw him in the picture, same way he used to sit. So then
Uh-huh.
it clicked, like, okay, then maybe something it is. But that time I do not used to accept that this is possible. But later on, when I started listening, learning, and then I found, like, yes, maybe something is there. Maybe uh, there is some connection for sure. Then why? I mean, how come? Like, when I also grew up, because in childhood things are very normal, but when I grew up, and right now I'm 34, so I can see all the hairlines, everything, the nose, all those things matches with the picture. So maybe.
There you go. There's your connection. See, if we try to rationalize it, it makes sense because there's no time on the other
Mm,
side. They can, for example, if I have a mentor that's passed on, but if I just think of my mentor and I'm asking for help, he can be there in a flash. Just like
yeah.
that, I feel him around me. See what I'm saying? So time is different. So yes, we are connected to many of our ancestors. So do not doubt it that your grandfather and you are connected, and I think he is working very hard to wake you up to your spiritual path in this lifetime. And he says you have the platform, you have the opportunity to help people. So about 30% of the world believes that they have lived before.
Mm,
30%. So there's a big percentage that doesn't. But as far as studying spiritual stuff, we're getting near the 50% mark that people are saying there's something to this. You know what I mean? If you meditate, if you calm
yeah.
down, if you trust your intuition. So people are actually opening up to at least that part of it to say, or this seems like a coincidence. So we're on our way in the world. We're definitely not there. So the purpose is from every lifetime is to learn a lesson when we come the next one. And sometimes you say, I want 10 lessons. Okay. And another thing that I get asked all the time is people say, what is my gift? What is my purpose? Because so many people are lost now. What is my purpose in this lifetime? But if they really look in, let me give you an example. I had a lady that called and she said, I've lost my purpose. I worked for whatever, a company and whatever. And she said, and I had this beautiful dog and he died. And, I feel like, I've lost because I really like being around animals. But she worked for a corporate job. And then I looked and I said, no, wait. I see a dog behind you. Is that a dog sitting on the mat behind you? And she goes, oh, yeah, but it's not my dog. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, well, on the weekends, I take it from the prisons. The prison people train it during the week and I have it on the weekend. Okay. And so it's going to be a therapy dog or a service dog.
Mm.
And I looked at her and said, that's your path. She goes, what do you mean? I said, you love it. That's what you're going to do. She goes, well, I'm just volunteering. I said, oh no, they pay to have trained therapy dogs. People need therapy dogs
Yeah.
all over the world for different reasons. I said, check at your college. And she called me a few days. She goes, I signed up for a class. I'm learning to be the therapy. And she said, and then there's another one after that for 2 years. And that would be a service dog. So it was right there in front of her, but she wasn't seeing it. So that's what I'm saying to anybody listening. Your gift might be right in front of you. So you have to kind of meditate, slow down, and ask for some help to say, what is my purpose? What is my gift? It might be right. So that's what she's doing now. She is training therapy dogs and getting paid for it. So she's left her other job.
That's really amazing. And this is the same thing I also wanted to, and maybe I'm still struggling on that. Coming. I mean, I'll come to my point later, but still, for the listener, like, how do these things? I mean, these patterns tend to show up practically, like in our life, like in relationships and career choices, health challenges, or maybe the fear that we have, right? The fear that we have that we cannot explain things to everyone, or maybe we cannot express. So, I mean, if you can share.
Okay, how do they show up? All right. Here's another example of a client. Okay, very kind, very loving lady, wonderful, has a family, supportive, and she had major knee issues. So she was going to have knee surgery. Okay, she had the knee surgery. Okay, the doctor said it was all fine, but
Okay.
it still hurt. Something was not healing. It wasn't healing. So she must have had a very enlightened doctor because the doctor said to her, I think this is a past life pattern, okay, that you need to heal is why that knee is not healing. Okay, so this lady lives the present time. So she comes to me and I'm going to go to the root of that life. So I go back to the Roman Empire time. She was a man. She was a soldier. She never married in that life. She would bring back slaves from these foreign countries. Okay.
Okay.
And when they wouldn't walk, she would mark them on the outside of the left knee with her sword. And then they would limp. Where was her heel? Where was her problem? The outside, the left part of her knee. And she was blown away. I mean, first of all, to be that kind of person, she couldn't believe it. I said, you were. Now, this is where this starts. You got to go in and meditate. You got to forgive yourself for who you were. That's all you knew. You have to forgive the people in power that pushed you and controlled you to do that. I said, and then you have to honor these people that you did that to and bless them and forgive them. I said, but it's a lot of forgiveness. I said, sometimes I have to go to the mountaintop and scream and yell and pound. I've pounded in my driveway, yelling and getting rid of patterns and saying, I forgive myself. I love myself. Sometimes I burned a string and both sides, I'm on one side, the person's on the other, and I forgive them. And I said, and you have to love your body now. But this is the most important thing. You have to thank yourself that your soul was wise enough to come in and ask for this pattern to be cleared and say, thank you for this lesson. Thank you for this 6-9 months that I could not walk on my leg and had to heal. See, then I talked to her recently and she said, it's unbelievable. It's like about 95% better. See? So those
Wow.
little moments. So when people have health issues, I say, look at what you learn from a health issue. It slows you down. And then it makes you look at life differently. So you're saying those patterns show up in ways like that you think wouldn't be. Okay. Or Again, you lose your job 4 different times. Maybe you were a boss in a life that you had no mercy and you said, "You're fired, get your things, get out of here." See what I mean? So now you feel the pain of it
Mm,
and go, "That it's abrupt." So instead of blaming the bosses that fire you, say, "I'm not gonna blame anybody. I gotta figure out what I need to learn here." So when you see a pattern come up,
yeah,
you have to say, "Where did this start and what do I need to learn?" That's what my mentor said. My mentor would say to me, "It's not good, it's not bad. Look for the lesson. And once you get the lesson, then you can heal it." Yeah. Okay. Does
exactly.
that kind of explain that question?
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, that connection between the emotional memory and the life,
Yes. Yes.
I would say the life direction, it really reframes how people view their struggles. So definitely, definitely true.
And once you conquer that pattern, guess what Earth does? It comes back and it tests you again to see if you're really over the pattern, and it tests you again. So say somebody stops drinking, okay? And they get tested 3 months, 6 months, a year to see. So you get tested to see if you really, really conquer it. And I think what we don't do in our lives, which Native Americans do, and there's a lot of Native American and indigenous energy on the planet now. They celebrate their little wins. Now, not with a big party or everything, but they acknowledge that little win in their soul. They take the time to say, "Thank you. I'm proud of me. I did that for 3 months. I moved through that pattern." See? So, okay.
Exactly. So for someone who is listening who feels kind of that this resonates, but they doesn't know where to start. So what will be the one grounded practice that helps begin healing past life patterns without the fear or overwhelming?
Okay. So this is where I tell people to start. I hear people begging for change.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, they want to find out, why can't they change? That's the first step. The next step is you have to slow down and meditate. And soon as I say that, I can see the eyes go, "Me meditate? I don't think so. I can't do that. That's just 20 minutes. I can't be still that long." Right. And I say, if you can't do that, go to a guided meditation that someone's gradually talking you through it so you can hear the words so it keeps you there. And if you fall asleep, that's okay. That's the second step. Third step is then you get those gut feelings, that intuition. Somebody says something. That is, you're being guided because you've asked for change. But this is where it falls apart. You get the intuition, that gut feeling, but then you don't act upon it. The next step is action. So you have ask, meditate, and then you have that intuition, then you act upon it. So when you have that intuition, that's where past life patterns, you can get to them. You can understand them. Okay. They come to you because you say, "I want to change this." Then you can kind of say that's a past life pattern. Now there's a couple ways to understand past lives. Number one, you go to somebody that regresses you and you bring up the past life. Some people can't do that because they don't have that, whatever depth. The second way is you go to a past life reader like me, someone who can read your Akashic records, your galactic records. They can read those past lives. And the third one is that you become so enlightened by doing the meditation, doing the intuition and acting on it that you can see your own past lives. But let me tell you, you got to go in and you have to have some quiet time. That's the 3 ways that you can access your past lives. And when I say it comes to you, it could come through a dream. It could come through that you go to a city and you feel like you've been in Italy before. See what I mean? And then you go, "Okay, that's that gut feeling." So
Hmm.
those are the ways you can kind of understand. And people say, "Oh, I don't," when I went here to Rome, I felt like I was there before. Or someone said, "I don't know. I just one day, I was in my 50s and I picked up an art brush and I started to paint and I really liked it. And I just felt it was familiar." So those are the ways that you can kind of say past lives are showing up in this life. Like there you
Exactly.
are. You can become a gifted artist at 50 because you did it back in the Renaissance day and you hadn't done it since. And you just had that incomplete life. See, because many people died early.
Yeah,
And so they didn't complete some of their patterns before. Now we get to be a little bit older, we get to complete them.
that's really amazing. So, um, amazing. So, I want to offer this question to all of our listeners. If you're repeating challenge in your life had a kind of deeper message, what might it be asking you to finally see or develop within yourself? Do let me
Okay.
know. Yeah.
Okay. Explain that in another way. I want to see. I don't understand exactly what you're asking.
Yeah. I'm saying, like, suppose if someone is going through a kind of repeating challenge in their life, and maybe it has some meaning, but they're not finding it. Like me. I mean, I'm really, I mean, within the thread, like I was not understanding what is exactly happening, but still I'm finding it. So if someone gets into this kind of situation, what might be they asking to finally see, and what they can start doing themselves to get to that position?
Okay. So you got to get quiet. Everybody has some quiet time. There's so much noise
Hmm.
going on.
Hmm.
Now, you can take a walk in the woods. You can sit
Yeah.
by the lake. And then you ask the question, I want to know what is for the highest and best good for my soul. And if I have anything blocking me from my highest and best good, I would like to see that pattern. I'd like it revealed to me so I can start overcoming it. So I always, when I go into anything new, I say, what is for the highest and best good? If my gut, we got those gut feelings. We have those little moments. If it says, nope, don't go into partnership with that person, it's not for your highest and best good, I back up. So I trust myself. Let me tell you, there was many, many times this lifetime I did not trust myself and I got myself in trouble. So I'm saying to people, please honor your own. Then dreams at night also are telling you something. So, they're usually showing you something you're working out on the other level so you don't have to work it out here.
Hmm.
So pay attention to those dreams. So I think the asking for the highest and best good in every
Yeah.
situation is where you can start to do. But then when the pattern comes, you got to be strong enough
Hmm.
to deal with that pattern, or be courageous enough to say, I'm going to start a new career. I'm going to start a new career. Because if you don't, guess what? Your world comes crashing down. So I was out of balance in Hollywood. I was a Hollywood actress. Well, let me just say I was a struggling Hollywood actress. Okay. So I'm just going to put this up. And I should have left Hollywood, but I was determined, but I really wasn't making it. I was studying. I was doing all that. So this was my wake up call. Can you see it? That
Yes.
is the good side of the plane. No one got out from the other side. This is a DC-10 plane crash. For your viewers that are just listening, it's on my website under donnahartley.com. It's on the top. So what happened is, this is what I said. Let my life change. Let it never be the same, or let me die. I was thinking of suicide when I got on that plane. I'm a former Miss Hawaii, so I was going back to Hawaii from LA to MC it. Now,
Hmm.
when we get down that low, we can either go out and our life is over, or we can face what we have to face. At that moment, I saw my life. I saw that I wasn't doing the work. I saw that I was afraid. I saw that I wanted other people to do the work for me. I really got honest. When you're about to die in about a minute, you get really honest. And I said, let me live. I will do the work. And then I got the assignment that I would speak, that I would write, and that I would help people help themselves. Now, I didn't know what that meant at the time, and that took kind of years to discover what that assignment was. But I'm saying, if you don't get on your path in this lifetime, if you are expecting someone else to do it, if you are not living, if you're burying yourself in food or distractions or things like that, it's going to blow up on you. Now, that's the big blow up. But, I'm Irish. I'm a little redhead, so guess what? I got hit over the head, but I accepted at that moment. I could have died. I was the very last one to make it out of the rear of that aircraft. I ended up testifying at the National Transportation Board of Inquiry and changing safety on aircrafts. That's the moment. I did not know I was going to be an international speaker for 40 years. That's the moment it was born. So when people stay and say, okay, in other lifetimes, I had causes. I went back. I fought for women, yet we're working in factories. I was speaking back in Greece. These are many, many lifetimes ago, and I couldn't complete it. So in this lifetime, I could take it to the present and make a difference. I waived my right to sue. So I didn't make any money off that plane crash. I had a lot of medical bills for years, but my purpose was to claim what I was supposed to do in this lifetime. So no whining. Your listeners are out there. I'm saying no whining with your lives. If something happens, don't say it's good or it's bad. Say, okay, I'm going to learn something from this. I don't have to like it. I don't have to like it, but I have to learn it. And then when you forgive yourself and the other people,
Exactly.
then you can move on. Yeah.
Very, very true. And I have to say that healing is not just about fixing that who we are, but it's all about what we are remembering and consciously choosing the kind of how we carry our experience forward. Right. So, exactly. So,
I tell people, lighten up, have more fun, have more joy, celebrate, walk out in nature. Nature's screaming. Don't eat the crap food. Don't eat the sugars, let your body soar. I mean, look at me. I had 3 heart surgeries in this life to claim a pattern way back in time, Middle Ages, when I was a mistress of the Lord of the Land, because I was a little urchin. And I was a mistress and I got pregnant and I said, you have to leave your wife and marry me. Pushing that, I lost the child. I lied to him. He sent a henchman and he stabbed me right in my heart valve. There you go. And it took 3 heart surgeries in this life to forgive him, forgive myself, to know that past life and all the people in the village. I had a lot of forgiving. I cried and cried. Now my doctor said, I'm amazing. I mean, I snow ski, I travel, I hike, I kayak, I do everything. But it was mentally, you're right, and emotionally what I had to let go of, not only the physical.
exactly. Amazing. So, Donna, like for the listeners who want to explore your work, your books, and also learn more about the past life awareness, where they can find you.
Well, no, just remember Hart, okay, because that's my last name, but I spell it a little different. Hartley, Donna Hartley. So they'll find my website and people say, how do I know you're on your website? I say that plane crash picture is a slider across the top. So they can see what I've done as a speaker. They can also book past life readings there because people are really asking to heal in this lifetime and develop their gifts. I didn't know I'd be a full-time past life reader. I knew I'd be a speaker. That was given to me. Had the gift since I was young. So we want to uncover that. So that's how they can do that. I would say for people all around the world, Amazon is the best place to buy my books. Fire Up Your Life, Fire Up Your Intuition, which is how to develop your intuition, and Fire Up Your Healing. I had to heal with my mother, my father, my brother, and then my cancer because all that negativity I took in my body created cancer. So once I got what that was, when they did surgery on me, I was stage 3. They couldn't find the cancer anywhere. It was gone because I did a lot of healing before. Miracles happen. We just have to believe in it. But know that every day you are influenced by your past lives. So let them work for you. Let them give you wisdom. Let them push you so you can be more spiritual and more grounded and more loving and more caring and more compassionate, because that's our assignment anyway, and ask for help from the other side. I mean, and I'm not very formal when I ask for help. My mentor, George, was a good old boy from Oklahoma, the middle of, America, smoked a pipe, loved his food. And I go, George, I need your help. What are you doing up there? Smoking a pipe? Will you come over and help me here? So I'm saying just get in touch with everything, your whole body, mind, spirit, and like yourself because you're here. You screwed up. We all did, but like yourself because you're here on earth learning lessons. So, I don't take myself so serious now. Okay. But anyway, find me on my website. It's the best way to find me.
Amazing. So, dear listeners, what I'll do is I'll put all the links and the details into the show notes for your easy reference. And with this hope, thank you so much for joining on Mind Meets Machine. And I'd say today's conversation reminds us that the awareness is both ancient and modern, intuitive and intelligent, right? So, if something's tired within you, dear listeners, sit with it. Sometimes insights arrives quietly before it transforms everything. So until next time, this is your host Avik, and you are on My Eats Machine. Stay curious and stay conscious. Thank you so much.